this evening to our video. Um, our communing, right? How can I say it? Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Letty. This is LettiSpeaks Tarot. And so, in spite of all of my expressions of love, I am a tarot reader. I do read tarot combined with my intuition to give expression to spirit, to source, to God, to what may be being said in the spirit realm. And so today, as I welcome you all, if you're new here, welcome. Make sure you like, share, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell if you'd like to be notified whenever I post a new video. If you're returning, hey, welcome back. So tonight what I am doing is I have been, for those of you that follow, you know that I've been doing a lot of energy work around the chakra system. And though I have not released the next meditation, there's about 5 of them there already that we can be working with. We have reached the top 3, which, as I stated in one of the videos, I believe it was the heart chakra one-on-one, we understood that the heart is like the center point for all of the chakras and kind of keeps everything balanced. The lower chakras are really practical, really grounding and balancing elements of our energy system. When we reach these top 3, things get real, right? Because we're talking about really the deeper aspects of who we are. We're talking more in alignment with our I want to say spiritual aspects of our being, like the intuition and our ability to perceive and communicate and connect, right? So we're talking about the more evolved aspects of our being. And so I feel like I don't want to really rush through. For me, I've been chewing on it because for each chakra that I am offering information for as we are learning these parts of our energy system together, like it becomes a part that I'm also working on as I am sharing that information with you all. And so being that the upper 3, so the last one I did was the throat chakra, right? I feel like this deserves a little bit more time to chew on it. And so I'm not really rushing through it. I'm allowing spirit to really guide me through this series. And I don't feel like I have been released yet to start on the next one. And so we're just sitting right here while we just chew on this last one. If you have not tuned in, not only do I do the meditations, which gives the practical part and getting familiar with our energy system, different parts of it, working from the bottom up, but it also helps us to, for those of us that may not be familiar, it's awakening. The meditation helps to awaken. For those that may be familiar, it would serve to energize. Like maybe you already know, well, maybe, tuning into these meditation / mantras helps just to refresh or energize or re-tap in whatever level that you connect with your chakras. There's something for everyone. And not only do I do the meditation chakra videos, I also do what I call 101s. And what that means is we tap into the informational background for that chakra. And so we'll talk a little bit more about how this chakra works through our body, what part of the body it's connected to, how that translates to things around us, how we relate when these chakras may be needing some work, maybe needing some balancing or some aligning, or if it is on point, what does that look like, And so They're called 101. So say if we were talking about the root chakra, it would be root chakra 101. And so if you haven't checked it out, just go through my videos. It would be down underneath this one. Just go check them out. And let me know what you think with the information that we're learning and exploring. And it's amazing because one of the things I'm beginning to really understand is that everything is energy. And with understanding that, it helps us to better understand and connect, since everything is energy, including we ourselves, right? How much more are we able to understand and connect and function skillfully, right? When we understand more, right? And so that alone has been like a huge help for me. And so go check those videos out and let me know what you think. Like, share, comment. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Today, what I'd like to do is, one of the other things that I do, again, this is a tarot channel, is I tap into the energies, right, around me, not only within me, but I tap into the energies around me. And so I wanted to kind of do something a little different and connect the two. So I'm teaching on tarot. I'm teaching on the chakras, excuse me. So I'm teaching on the chakras, and I'm also an intuitive reader as well. And so I wanted to do an activity that would allow me to combine the two. And so tonight what I'm doing is I am doing just a general read to tap into each part of the chakras, even though there's a couple that we haven't hit yet. So the last one I did was the throat. We still have the third eye and the crown. However, I did do a basic video that gives a basic description of what each chakra does. And so we've kind of taught on it a little bit, but I did want to kind of do some additional intuitive work around the chakras while we're working through them. And so that's what we'll be doing tonight. What that's going to look like is I'm going to take specifically, I'm working with my regular Rider or weight deck. This is the original tarot deck. And I have separated all of the major arcana. And so pulling from the major arcana only, we're going to tap into the energies for each area of the body, each energy center. And as we know, there's 7 from the root all the way up to the crown. We have 7 major or basic energy centers. And so we're going to pull some energy for each of those centers and kind of get a feel of what spirit may be working through each of these energy centers. And so if you're watching, please use your intuition. This is a general read. If you'd like a personal reading that would apply to you personally, feel free to schedule or book a personal reading. I definitely always leave my calendar link down in the description box. But if you enjoy and you want to tune in to this general read just to kind of see what that looks like, you are more than welcome to do that. Thank you so much for tuning in. So let's get started. And so we're going to shuffle here a bit. So my first major arcana is going to be for our root. So what is happening in our root chakra? And we have the Hierophant for the root chakra. What about our sacral chakra? Always dropping cards. 1 second. And for our sacral chakra, we have the Hanged Man. Our solar plexus chakra. We have the Fool for the solar plexus chakra, our heart chakra, heart chakra. For our heart chakra, we have the Sun. Okay. And then our throat chakra. Our throat chakra is Temperance. Okay. And our third eye chakra, of course, the High Priestess coming out. And then for the last energy center, which is the crown, we have the Hermit. Okay. And just to give a little recap, because I know some of us who's been following out along with our, if you've been following along with our energy study, as we've been going through the chakras, you know a little bit about each one. For the root talks about our security and how we feel in the world. It's our many times connected to our beginnings, right? It's our foundations. It's how we stabilize in the world. Okay. And then we have our, and it is the color red, the root chakra. And then we have our sacral chakra, which is the color orange. And the sacral chakra is talking about passion. It is our inspiration. It's our drive, our fire, right? It's a fiery orange color. And then we have our solar plexus chakra, which is yellow, which talks about our power. It's our personal power and how we go out and fulfill in the world, right? It's how we show up, how we execute is a good word. It's how we execute in the world. And then we have our heart chakra, which is green. And our heart chakra talks about our compassion, you know, how we love. It talks about how we relate to others and connect with others. And then we have our throat chakra, which is our voice. But not a lot of people know. Not only is it how we express, but it's also how we interpret as well. It's a two-sided sword, huh? Yeah, not only are we expressing, but we're also interpreting through this chakra. And then we have our third eye chakra, which talks about our vision. It's our, many people call this our spiritual eye, right? It's how we see the world around us and how we visualize the spiritual world as well. Like it's what happens behind what we see with our physical eye. It's almost like a spiritual eye. And then we have our crown chakra, which is the seventh one, which is how we connect with everything that is in existence, with the universe, with our creator, with our higher power. It's how we see ourselves in connection with everything. Okay? And so let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So starting from the root chakra, which is our, again, it's the seat of the soul, right? And so the Hierophant brings in very spiritual energy. So this definitely says that you are someone who is very attuned to spirituality in whatever form that takes place. There's many ways for us to exist and interact and reflect our spirituality out into the world and internally. And this says that you are very rooted and grounded in that place. Like you have a very solid, firm connection with where it is that you come from when it comes to spirituality. It looks like you could be someone who is very spiritual. That could be very much reflected in your upbringing. It could be very much rooted and grounded in who you are. You find your identity in that. And this says that there is a level of stability that's maintained here. It's in your spirituality. It's very grounded. There could be possibly a need for interaction in this area. You could be someone who desire or has a need to connect, right? In order to be completely fulfilled in this space, in your root chakra. There's a need to connect, and not just with anybody. This is very purposeful connection, because these connections that are desired, or these connections that could be coming in for you, or you need, the connections that you may need to make, are connections that are going to not only reflect you and your ideas and your beliefs, and they're also going to reflect the ability to give back what it is that you have to offer. It needs to be a very reciprocal type of connection in order for you to feel the level of stability and comfort and the level of safeness that the root chakra offers, that the root chakra is supposed to give, right? And we're talking about life force and setting off on our path, what's being given, what's needed in order to feel that sense of security. And so it's very spiritual energy coming from your root chakra. And what that says, it says that you could be very dependent, right? Which it makes sense, because a lot of us have that as our very beginnings, and that is the very root of who we are. It goes back to some type of spiritual practice or belief. And that's what keeps us, and keeps us rooted and grounded. And so I also pulled the Royal You. So this is an oracle card that came out for the root chakra. And so the Royal You definitely talks about this level of sovereignty and responsibility and self-confidence and this autonomy and ownership of your feelings and your actions, and not allowing things outside of you to come in and shake you up or move you from that place of alignment within your truth. And so whatever that is, whatever that spiritual grounding is, right now, in your root chakra, there's a need to stand firm. There's a need to stand in your power and in your truth. I don't know if there's things that are coming in that's challenging that. Sometimes life can do that. Certain things that can happen in life that will cause us to go and kind of be shaken in different areas of belief. Sometimes it will take us to a greater belief. Sometimes it takes us to a place where we need to reevaluate, but those are things from within that would cause us to reflect and to reinforce what it is that we believe. This is talking about an outside force coming in to challenge. And so the royal you is reminding you of who you are and the fact that you are a sovereign being. And I'm getting the energy of divinity here as well. Like whoever this is for, like this is a big thing. Because this is saying that there's something that needs to be expressed. There's something that needs to be shared loudly and boldly, right? There's a statement that needs to be made about who you are and what you stand for and what you will and will not tolerate, I'm hearing as well. And this is also digging into you understanding your worth and your beliefs about yourself and about what it is that you represent, what it is that you've come here to do, your purpose, all of that. It's also about you feeling comfortable in your own skin. Like, and I'm getting a picture of someone looking in the mirror completely without anything on. I can't say that word because I don't want to be flagged. And it's about loving everything about yourself from the inside out. Every mole, every birthmark, right? Every bald spot, every roll, every dimple, right? Everything. Loving everything about yourself, feeling very comfortable in your skin, right? Coming from the root chakra. And when that happens, I feel like Spirit is saying, when you become totally accepting and comfortable in yourself, then nothing outside of you can come in and shake up who you are and shake up your foundation and what you believe. That's how comfortable you're being called to be with yourself, to the point where no one can come in and tell you anything different. And while doing that, also maintaining your level of balance and integrity as well, right? Not losing yourself, not becoming overly saturated with self, but there's a balance there. Still keeping the good of yourself while also being able to consider the good of others as well, right? And so there could be things coming in right now to challenge this type of energy coming in through the root chakra. And whatever it is, it must be met with a level of a measured response. It needs to be addressed. You can't ignore it, right? You need to make your precedence in the world right now, is what I hear Spirit saying. When the challenge comes, that's the time to speak up and let your voice be heard. And set your boundaries too. But do it with grace and do it with honor. Okay? That's what I hear for the root chakra. Because those who are sovereign, those who understand their divinity, right? Understand that you don't go to every fight that you are invited to, but you get to choose your battles and you choose them wisely. Not only that, you wield your power skillfully and wisely as well. Not everything is worth your energy. And so it's understanding that. That's part of understanding your worth. and being able to measure your responses appropriately. Some things don't even need a response because it's not even worthy of your attention. And so, for whoever this is for, not letting outside influences come in, not letting outside influences come in and knock you off your square. Okay? Because there's something mighty powerful that you hold. The royal you. Right? That says a lot. First of all, it says that you're not common. You're not common. I almost feel like there's a level of position and power that comes with this. And you need to know that. The power that you hold. And with power comes responsibility and leadership. You need to know that. But it's also equally important in how we lead and how we wield that power, right? There's a lot of heart energy here as well with this Six of Cups. That means there's something we're being reciprocated. The Six of Cups also talks about this karmic energy, right? What we put out always comes back. So it's being mindful of that. Yeah. And so there's a mark that you are making in this world. Understand your worth and your calling is what I hear Spirit saying for you. So for our sacral chakra, we have the Hanged Man, which tells me that there could be... So what the Hangman represents is this space of rest or a pause or a solitude of some type, the need to stop. And so for the sacral chakra, which represents passion, it represents this fiery energy, this go, go, go. You know, it's going out and allowing yourself to allow the inner recesses of your being to flow outwardly through creativity. It's definitely fire energy. And the Hangman could symbolize that there is a need for a break. If you found yourself just overactive lately and doing a lot and going and not taking a moment to stop, this could symbolize an overactive sacral chakra. This could also symbolize the need to tame something as it pertains to this energy center. I'm getting the energy of something just being really I don't know why I'm seeing like an overgrown garden that hasn't been, you know, taken care of. It's almost like just everything's just growing everywhere. There's no order, no rhyme or reason. So this could be symbolizing that there is a need for someone to slow down and take a moment to pause. Not that good things are not happening. Good things could be happening, but I'm getting a sense that something is needed to be brought under subjection. Like there's a level of pause that needs to happen to bring in order. To bring in order. And again, the sacral chakra is the area where creativity is flowing. It's not where it's born, but this is where it's flowing. and being cultivated. And so for the oracle card that I got, we have quieting the mind, which even brings in more of that energy. And even as you look at this picture, there's a lot going on. This actually shows the chakras being aligned. But as you look at the colors, you look at, all of the different nuances in this picture. We have colors, we have stars, we have orbs. Like, there's a lot going on. And it's beautiful, but it could be that it could be more effective if there was an alignment that happened, if there was a sense of bringing things into order. And so quieting the mind talks about this energy, like we see in the picture, of meditation. And as a discipline, though, not just sporadic, but a meditation as a commitment, turning it into a discipline, right? This need for silence and peace. All the more because of the chaotic world that we live in. It has a way of pushing us to the edge, to our limits, and causing us to believe that we can multitask, 10 times more than just a regular multitask, right? But this is inviting us to let go, for whoever this is for. And there is an energy in the sacral chakra. Now, this is supposed to be the energy where creation is being cultivated and passion. But what happens when that burns out or it's overactive? It turns into monkey mind, if you know what that is, right? Just imagine a monkey whenever you go to the zoo and the monkey gets excited and he's just like swinging from limb to limb and going here and going there and coming and then going, and it turns into that. And so there's the need to bring in the energy of mindfulness here. And what mindfulness is it's the ability to really take a moment to stop and focus without being involved with what you're focusing on. It just causes you to allow you to just really take an authentic break. Stop thinking and just be, is what mindfulness is. And that's the cure for our chaotic life right now. This is your sacral chakra, the second chakra. This is the cure for the busy, chaotic, loud, frenetic, and overwhelming life that we live right now. Yeah. There may even be a need to take a vacation just to get away from it all for a moment. If you live in an environment where there is no getting away, if you find that you can't turn meditation into a discipline because of all of the things pulling on you and because of all of the chaos happening in your life, there may be a need to take a vacation. Because when the sacral chakra is not healthy, there's a lot of things that can happen as a result of that. This part of the body is down in our it's down where our reproductive organs are. Okay? It's also part of a little bit in the lower back as well. Some of the organs down there as well. like the kidneys, those lower organs down there. And so again, when we're talking about the chakras, we're also talking about organs. And so if there's any part of our chakra that's not healthy, it has the potential to also affect our organs as well in a negative way, because we're talking about energy. And so these are things that we really do have an opportunity to help ourselves and our bodies with, right? And so it's really necessary for whoever this is resonating with, if this is you, to slow down. Take a moment to take note of what's happening within your body. And if there are things happening down there in that part of the body, it could definitely be related to your sacral chakra and the fact that it is overactive in this moment, or it has been. And so Spirit is calling you to take note and actually put yourself first. Make yourself a commitment to be still, even if it's just for like 5 minutes of the day. Could make a world of difference by just doing that one little thing. Matter of fact, you could take a deep breath right now. Let's do it. Close your eyes and just stop. Take a deep breath. Feel your stomach swell like a balloon till you can't take no more air. And then release it slowly and softly. Let's do that 3 times. One more time. See how that feels? Oh my gosh. A world of difference. That's what your body is calling for you to do. To love it in that way. To hear it when it says to slow down, to stop. And know that you have all the time in the world to do the stuff that you have to do. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to sacrifice your body to do it. You have all the time in the world. And some things may need to go to the wayside in comparison to the health of your body. Okay? This is real stuff, okay? And so how we think has a lot to do with how we show up in the world. And so if our thoughts are racing back and forth and we're all over the place, that's how we're showing up in the world. That may be how we're showing up from this part of our energy center as well. Again, the sacral chakra is supposed to be our center where our passions are created. This is already fire energy. And for fire energy to be just kind of chaotic and out of control, that's a mess. It may be a beautiful mess, but it's a mess, you know? Fire on fire, out of control. And so for the sacral chakra, we're being asked to stop and tune in to how we are allowing ourselves to meet our goals in the world or show up in the world. Are we putting ourselves first? Are we placing, healthy boundaries on ourselves to protect our health mentally, spiritually, and physically? we need boundaries for ourselves too. There should most definitely be things that we would not do just simply because we can't fit it in our schedule. I can't do that. I don't have time to do that. Or, no, I can't do that. Because whenever I do that, I get flustered and right? There should be boundaries that we have for ourselves. We should not be taking ourselves to the very edge of the cliff to where we're almost about ready to fall over. We should not be driving ourselves to that point. And because I got the Hangman, which talks about this slow energy, the need to stop in retrospect. And then I also got the Oracle card that's saying the same thing, quiet the mind, that's saying that the sacral chakra is overactive. There's a need to stop and process, possibly too, before running out to do. Like you could have ideas coming in and just kind of doing everything. There may be a need to stop and chew on it first before you go and try it out or do it. Yeah. There's a need for an internal break, a vacation of some kind, whether that's going away or whether that's just pulling back and just stopping for a second. And when you do that, I feel like everything that you're working on will fall in place. That's the magic of moving intuitively, right? Not by might, not by power, but by spirit. There is an accomplishing that happens through spirit that's so much more smooth and easier than if we try to crank it out. One word that I've been loving all this year is ease. Ease. That means there's no struggle there, but it just flows. And I think that is what the sacral chakra is supposed to help us do. Its job is to be creative, to stimulate the passion, but it doesn't mean that it has to be cranked out and squeezed out. And, it's supposed to be ease because it happens so intuitively, so flowingly, right? And so for someone, there's a need to pull back. I almost feel like it's the approach. It's the approach here. There's a need for a more sacred approach that's going to not only be more beneficial for you, but it's going to take a lot of stress out of the process as well. And it happens through stopping and going into the secret place more, meditating more, okay? So that's for the sacral chakra. Now, for our solar plexus chakra, which we're talking about our personal power, we have the Fool. And so the Fool symbolizes this brand new energy. First of all, I want to point out that it is the number 0 in the major arcana deck. 0 actually is a number that represents unlimited potential. And we're talking about your personal power, your solar plexus chakra, represented by the color yellow. Talking about personal power, your ability to show up and execute, how you show up in the world, your belief in yourself, your ability to go out and do what it is that you need to do. And for your solar plexus, so there's the need to understand, I feel like there's the need to understand that, you are powerful, whoever this is. The potential that you hold is powerful. For some, there could be like a definite destination. For I'm getting the energy here, like the whatever restrictions or destination that would limit your potential is removed. There are none. It's almost like you're able to take it as far as you would like to. It's that kind of energy. And so for someone, the solar plexus is in a really good place. It's healthy. It's balanced. It's open. Like, and this is even the energy of exploration, right? It's balanced from one end to the other, and the Fool actually represents new ventures, right? And so I feel like for who I'm talking to, you have a very healthy solar plexus, and you have this, I'm seeing this picture of someone who has they've mastered the art of the journey. So the major arcana is usually a depiction of the journey. This is the beginning. And then the world is the end. And then there's every single step in between, from 0 to 20. And each step represents something. So if you have not, I'm seeing someone who masters each step of the journey and becomes a master of their destination, a master of their journey, right? And you hold the power for every step along the way on how that looks and how you show up there. This is beautiful. I love this. So the solar plexus is it's in a really good, open, empowered, very balanced energy. For the oracle card, I have the Oracle's Gift. The Oracle's Gift. So the Oracle's Gift is actually tapping into the energy of being able to see. It's some type of clairvoyance. And so concerning this journey and your potential on this journey and how you travel through this journey, there's a level of clairvoyance that you have. Remember how I was saying for some there is a desire, a definite destination? I feel like there's none, but there is this clear sight as you're traveling through, and you are empowered through this journey. You're empowered. You may even have the ability to tap in to see where it is that you're going and what's happening every step along the way. That is enabling you. This perfecting of this journey is because of this ability to see clearly. And it gives you an advantage because you're able to make decisions that otherwise you wouldn't have the ability to make with such precision, right? Um, and so your ability to perfect this journey is not about determination, but it's more about sight, your ability to see. Yeah. So with this, I'm getting the energy of being aware that you have this ability and not second guessing yourself. Because the solar plexus also talks about your ability to be very in tune and self-aware and self-empowered and totally believing in your ability, believing in yourself. It's self-empowerment. And so it's really understanding that this is real. Like you really possess this power, this autonomy here. And I am definitely getting that intuitive energy as well here. Part of your fortune is the fact that you can see ahead. It's the fact that you can see ahead. That's where the Oracle's gift card comes in. So this journey, the fact that you are going to perfect this journey, if you have not already, that it's because of this gift that you're carrying along the journey. And if you are about to go on, you haven't perfected, it's understanding the need to trust yourself and trust your intuition and understand that you are on point and you're not tripping, right? You're not you're not doing too much, right? You do have the ability to see and read between the lines accurately, is what Spirit is saying. And you're somebody that has an attachment or a divine connection. Like when you ask for signs along this path or about your abilities or direction, you get an immediate answer. You have a connection. And so I feel like the message here with the solar plexus, as you're perfecting this experience, is not to doubt. Not to doubt. Not to doubt. And understand that everything, all the answers that you're looking for is actually already within, right? Which is about that personal power. You have been given everything that you need. Mm-hmm. And so the solar plexus is beautiful. This is very powerful energy. Whoever you are a magical being. And everybody ain't able. I hope you know that, okay? And so trust. Don't second guess. Don't doubt. Trust is what I hear Spirit saying. This is beautiful. You have a direct connection with Source that is unmistakable. And you have an inner knowing that's powerful. I feel like you know before you even know. So whatever's happening, you are on the right track. And you're on your way to perfecting whatever it is, wherever it is that you're headed. Yeah. You are the source that creates the miracles in your life by what you believe. So also attune to what it is that's going on up here as well, because that is being manifested. What you hold, what you've been given is so strong that it manifests without you even realizing your power. So Spirit is saying all of that from this solar plexus, though it's open, I'm getting pure, purified, it's balanced. It's all around you, this energy, this very magical energy. And so know that, but utilize that wisely. Yeah. Make sure you stay tuned in to source and to your source. That's going to keep you on point, okay? Beautiful. Now with the heart chakra, we have the sun, which is the most happiest fulfilled cards in the deck. So I really do feel like either this is the current condition of your heart chakra, the energy is very balanced, very high vibing frequency, right? Or this is where you are desiring to be. This is where you will end up. And I feel like there could be, for some, you could be experiencing this already. For others, this could be a desire, and there could be a little bit of tension with whether or not you'll ever get to this point, right? But Spirit is saying that yes, you will. The Oracle card is a higher view. That's why I say for some, this may be something that's on your mind right now. You know where you want to be, what you want to feel like when you're doing what you're doing. Will you ever get to experience that? May be a question for some of you in this energy center. And I feel like you will. Spirit is saying yes. But first, let's take a look at how we can position ourselves energetically so that we can experience that in our physical realm. And so this is seen from a higher perspective. And it's almost like sitting in a space of non-judgment as things are happening around you. Non-assumptions as well as things are unfolding. And not being attached either. You ever been manifesting something? One of the major rules of manifesting is you have to release it, right? Set it and forget it. You got to release it. And you could be waiting on something for like 10 years, and then you forget about it one day, and all of a sudden it just pops up because you detached from it. That's what caused it to show up in your reality when you released it and detached from it. And so this is like the ability to remain unbiased on either side, just to be. And so we're talking about the heart space, and we're talking about fulfillment in this energy center as it pertains to what's happening in life for you. Not feeling like you have to control anything or stress out about anything or make anything happen. But there's a level of unbotheredness that totally serves us. I'm okay if it happens. I'm okay if it doesn't, right? I'm going to be okay. And it's that type of energy that brings us everything that we need. Not only will I be okay, I'm going to be content. I'm content now before I even get it, right? It's that kind of energy that brings in everything that we need. And right now I feel like I'm talking to the heart's desire, this heart space, right? It's an energy, but it's also very fleshly. Like when we get our heart broken, you can't tell me that's just the energy. Like I feel that. I feel that. I feel it in my flesh, in my chest, right here. And I feel like if I had a knife sharp enough, I could probably just cut it out so I wouldn't feel it no more. Or when you first fall in love and the person you're in love with can do no harm, right? They can do no harm at all. Or the person that's in love with you can do no harm, right? And it doesn't even have to be love. It could be, finally landing that job where you're able to do the thing that you love to do, that just does it for you, sets your heart on fire, and the world is just a perfect place, right? Fulfillment, contentment, love. Yeah. But the desire for that is what I think I'm tapping into here. The desire for that. And the concern around whether that will pop up. And so that could be causing a little bit of, just a little contention in that area, in that energy center, in the heart chakra. Yeah. And because of that, we could possibly fall into a stifled energy where we can't see anything past what it is that we want or what we're waiting for. And because of that, we completely lose all of our enjoyment that we could be experiencing in life. Not understanding that life has every intention for you to enjoy, even the time that you're waiting for whatever it is that you want. Even that's supposed to be enjoyable, and it can be if we are aware, if we allow ourselves to stay in an energy of awareness, of understanding. Listen, yeah, you're waiting on something, but you know what? While you're waiting, guess what? You have the activity of your limbs. You can see, you can hear, you can taste, you can feel the wind engaging with your skin, you can use your arms and your legs. Like you have the full capacity to enjoy life on every single level while you're waiting, which adds even more to life, right? I don't believe that we spend life waiting for one thing to happen and we don't get any other joy until that thing happens. That's no way to live. But every day is supposed to be enjoyable. We're supposed to get fulfillment out of every single day. And then when we do get to the point where we get what we want, that's like the cherry on top. We're already happy. We're already loving life in every way possible that we can find ways to express that. Yeah. And so this is a need to pull back from what it is that you are desiring or what you could be stressing about, because there is so much more that you're supposed to be experiencing right now through the heart space, through the love of life. And when you come to this higher view, when you pull back from that, right, in the higher view, when you're soaring on the back of an eagle, imagine how much more you can see. There's so much more at your disposal than you are allowing yourself to engage. There's so much more that could actually provide this level of connection for this part of your energy center, for the heart space. It's not just relegated to relationships. That's just one little small part. There's also the passion of doing what you love. There's also the passion of connecting with yourself and loving life. Yeah, there's so many different ways that we can engage the heart space, the heart energy center. What is it that you've been called to do? I hear Spirit asking that. What is it that when you get a chance to do it, you can't wait to get out of bed in the morning? What is that? What is that that you would do every day of your life? And this is something that you would actually do for free. You wouldn't necessarily need to get paid for. And if you are being paid for it, you feel like you're not even working. You're just being given money because it doesn't feel like work. You enjoy doing it that much. Like, there's so many different ways that we can engage the heart space in the world. I'm picturing a table like a smorgasbord of all these different kinds of cultures of food, delicious food. That's what life looks like when it comes to the heart space. There's so many different ways that we can engage. And so we're being asked to step back for someone, because there's a smorgasbord that was prepared for your heart space. But I don't know if you have your attention zoned in on one thing. Because it's zoned in on one thing, you've missed the whole smorgasbord of things that are at your disposal. And because of that, there could be just a little bit of contention in the heart space, causing some friction. Yeah. So there's a need for the higher view when it comes to the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is about compassion. This brings in the color green. This is how we connect with others and ourselves. This is how we connect with things, not just others, but things in the world, how we connect. Yeah. And through that connection, there's a level of fulfillment that happens. We were created to connect, right? So there's a level of fulfillment that happens when we do. Whether you like to connect or not, we were created to do that. And I'm not just talking about people again. I'm talking about this energy that flows, that reaches out of this part of our energy center that's designed to grab hold of something or someone else and make connection and bring it back to this part of our energy center and cause something to be fulfilled or completed, almost like there's a piece of a puzzle that it goes looking for, and when it finds it, it's like, okay, cool, now we got it going on, right? There's a sense of fulfillment that happens. And so there's a need for a higher view, though. There may be something, and I feel like it's a lot of something that could be missing. There's a table that's been prepared for you. So there's a need to step back so that you can see all that is at your disposal. Okay? When it comes to this heart space, there's a yearning that I'm feeling right now about it, about you. But there's more than one way to skin a fish, baby. There's more than one way to get that connection. And it's open and available to you. All of those ways, not just one, but all of those ways, okay? So Spirit is asking you to step back so that you can see all of those other ways. Not that that one way that you're waiting for is not going to come through, but there's a plethora of ways that were prepared just for that space, that energy center, that heart space, okay? Yes. And next we have our throat chakra. And the throat chakra brings in the temperance energy. Now the throat chakra, of course, is right here, and it carries the aquamarine color, kind of like the color of this water that temperance angel is standing in. And this is this is our voice, so how we communicate, but it's also how we receive information as well. It's a two-way communication, not just talking, but it's listening too. Listening and understanding and, really deciphering what's being said and what's being communicated. And so temperance is usually symbolic as it pertains to like the throat chakra. This could be a change happening with how you communicate. There could be a transformation happening, because temperance is actually, if you see the cups in temperance's hand, there's like the alchemization happening. One thing that's being turned into something else. And many times when it's temperance, it's adding value to what's being transferred or what's changing. It's adding value through that alchemizing and balancing and positioning. And so I feel like this could have something to do with being able to speak up and voice. And I don't know why I'm feeling like this could be for some, not for all. Remember, this is a general reading. This could be in terms of a relationship. There's something that's changing in a relationship. There's a level of communication that's changing within a relationship. And Temperance also says to me that right now you could be in the middle of that change, but yet unmoved. Unmoved. Because you see the path here on the side of Temperance. It's very, you see the sun at the end of the path. It's very inviting. It's almost like this is the path that you're supposed to be on. Come on. But yet Temperance is unmoved. One foot in the water, one on the rock. Balanced in her emotions and in the physical world as well. Unmoved. There's something that needs to be done, and I'm not moving until it's time, right? The oracle card that I have is Great Big Love. So with the throat chakra, I feel like this has something to do with connections, relationships, possibly the need to speak something, the need to be balanced in your communication, maybe needing to speak up, maybe needing to not be overwhelmed in your emotions while speaking up, but being very balanced when you speak. Not too much in your head, not too much in your heart, but being balanced. Because the great big love is the energy of unconditional love, which means that you are free to speak from the depths of your heart. Okay? This is definitely romance, and it's a romance that has the potential to change possibly either you or the other person. It's like soulmate energy. But this is talking about the throat chakra and speaking. Not only speaking, but being able to discern and decipher what's being spoken to you. Not only what's being spoken, but even the actions coming towards you. There's a level of balance here. I feel like with your relationship here, it could be being taken to the next level, possibly. And it doesn't mean like it's you're going to get married, but I mean mentally, spiritually. There's the recognition like that there is good things happening through this communication. There's healing that's taking place. There's new life that's beginning through this connection. And it's good. This could definitely be the kind of connection that helps you to grow, that sustains you, that supports you when you need it. Yeah. But this is talking about the throat, the voice. And so lots of balance in this chakra. And this balance could be as a result of the support that you have around you, the type of connection that you're currently connected to right now, or the potential. Temperance does talk about patience. And so this could be something developing into something more. This could be waiting for someone to come through that gives this kind of energy, and not being willing to compromise what it is that you know you want or you need. I'm feeling like a heightened sense of awareness, of knowing when this authentic, loving energy, when it is present and when it is not, right? The throat chakra talks about this very discerning energy, like not easily fooled, like the real deal, okay? The throat just not only talks about talking, but there's a lot going on with this chakra. Remember, I was telling you in the beginning how these upper three chakras they're more, it's a little bit more intense when we get to the upper three chakras. And so for someone, this is about relationships and connections and your ability to decipher. It's almost like you won't be fooled because you'll know, the real from the fake. You'll know. And you do know. For those of you that are already in it, you can tell that it's real. And for those of you that may be waiting, like you have the potential through your throat chakra, keeping it balanced, not rushing into things, but allowing things to prove themselves through time. You'll know. Especially in the beginning levels of the relationship, there's going to be a very clear sense of knowing very early in relationships, that you'll be able to tell. You won't be wasting your time because you'll be able to tell early on. And this is also letting you know too that this is also this very pure energy. Is not something that you're waiting to experience. For those of you that are not in the connection at this moment, this is something that you can experience within yourself, with the Creator. When you love your life and what it is that you do and what it is that you have to give, to the world, that's a love relationship in itself already. And the interaction with that, knowing that this is for you, that this is what you've been called to do, that's a level of love as well. We were just talking about that in the heart chakra. So for someone, you're discovering that. You're finding your authenticity. What's for you? Relationships and not, right? You're finding that authenticity in the world. What's for you? Showing up authentically and not being apologetic about it. Yeah. And it's all about love. The love that you're waiting for, you start by giving it to yourself and appreciating it with what you're doing. Okay? The throat chakra. I get really good energy with the throat chakra. Yeah. Remember to stay balanced. Remember to stay balanced. Don't rush into things. Understand that things are being revealed. Your only job is to listen. Listen to your body. Listen to your gut reaction. And it'll tell you everything that you need to know to keep you on track. And so I feel like for a majority for the throat chakra, this is in regards to your ability to communicate in relationships as you're entering into them, your ability to show up authentically, your ability to connect even outside of relationships with yourself and with the things that you do out in the world, your ability to show up authentically and love that. Love that, whatever that is. Finding that space that you can actually thrive in and love it. Yeah, this is the energy of love coming through the throat chakra though. And I feel like it's the ability to show up unapologetically and step into the spaces that were meant just for you so that you can be your authentic self. In that space, I hear there's nothing lacking. And then with our third eye chakra, we have the High Priestess, which is very in alignment. This is representative of the third eye chakra. And the High Priestess represents a level of connection with the divine like none other. There is this very divine energy that the High Priestess brings. And it's not out of vanity. It's not out of luxury. This is like a calling, right? She sits in a place of calling, right? And a place of responsibility for what it is that she's been called to. Heavy is the head that wears the crown is what I'm hearing. And so the third eye chakra is the color fuchsia. And this is our spiritual eye. This is what taps us in to what's happening behind the veil, to what's happening behind what we can see with our natural eyes, right? This is information that the average person wouldn't know, you know, and nothing Usually nothing gets by the high priestess. And it's by design, and it's very ordained that this knowledge is given because it's used purposefully. Remember, she's not there by just chance, but she's placed there purposefully. There's a purpose for her being there and having this connection and this knowledge. And so for this chakra, which talks about our thoughts and our ability to tap in, I feel like there is the level with the third eye chakra energy center where there is an expansion happening. And this expansion is happening by a redirection, right? This expansion is happening by a change in the way that things are being done, or the way things are happening. If you're used to being very assertive and going out and making things happen and making, having things have to be a certain way, it's pulling back from that energy and being a little bit more discreet about how you exert yourself and your energy. This is also about things that used to work out that no longer work out. And so you're redirecting that energy to something else because it's time to graduate to something new. And so you may very well be being redirected. You may find that you no longer find interest or a pull. You no longer even find a connection with things that you were very much connected to a week ago. Now all of a sudden it's like there is this disconnect all of a sudden, or you're seeing it differently and you're responding differently. This energy center is definitely active, but I feel like there's a shift happening. It's almost like there is a redirection that's happening with how you're seeing things and how things are coming across. So my oracle card was the Uncharted Sea. The Uncharted Sea. Yeah. This card definitely is talking about, if you look at the compass, right? They're on a sea and they're just kind of floating. It almost gives the energy of kind of drifting without having a map, without having a specific direction, right? That's where I got that energy of redirection. It's almost like, okay, there's this switch up that's happening. There very well may have been a specific way you were doing things mentally, the way you were thinking about things up to this point. Now there is like a switch that has happened. There's like a switch that's happened. And it's moving you beyond what you're used to, moving you beyond your comfort zone. And I get that energy by looking at this boat just setting afloat without really a direction. That's very uncomfortable for a lot of people. You know, we have to know, and I do say we have to know where we're going, when we're going, how we're going. We have to know all the details, right? We can't float and we don't know where we're going. Where's the map, you know? But sometimes life takes us on journeys that causes us to have a level of faith to get to where we're going. And this is one of those times for whoever this is. This is uncharted territory where you're headed. And some of the things that you are about to be taken into is going to be mind-blowing, is what I'm hearing. And you'll be unexpectedly choosing to do things differently because you're going to be seeing them differently. You're going to be understanding them differently. You're going to be releasing from your way of understanding or doing things and just kind of going with the flow to see how things turn out. There's an ebb of curiosity that's going to rise up, that's going to make you release your way and want to find out how this is going to turn out. In order for us to grow, we have to be willing to release ourselves from our comfort zone, from what has been safe, because we know the outcome, right? Yeah. And so for someone, there is an experience coming towards you. And for some of you, you could be well within this experience already where you've chosen to take this path. And it sets you on a whole new journey, a whole new experience outside of everything that you could have ever imagined 20 years ago that you would be today. Yeah. And it involved you leaving everything that was familiar. Everything that was familiar. You are the pioneer of this journey. You're the path maker. You're the magic cartographer, I think is the word. You get to actually draw the map as you go on your way. Yeah. And so in the third eye right now may feel a little shaky just because of the new experiences that are coming or that have led you forward. But the shakiness is in expansion though. It's shaking everything that you've known loose so that it can expand. It's shaking you away from everything that you have known, releasing from everything that you understood to be one way, and opening you to actually expand your understanding to something bigger. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And after taking this journey, this uncharted journey, you'll never see things the same or think about things the same. The uncharted sea. There's an awakening happening for those of you that are just embarking forward on this journey. Not the ones that's been there and that are well along on their way. This is for those that are just embarking. You will never see things the same. Once you open your eyes to the new, you'll never see things the same. And once you decide to go forward on this new journey, there's no way back to where you would have been before you made that decision. There's no turning back once you move forward, because you can never unsee what you now see. We're talking about the third eye. You can never unsee what you open your eye to. But it's going to be a beautiful sea. I hope I don't scare you. It's going to be a beautiful sea. The high priestess is never caught off guard because she sees. Yeah. So this is more along the line, not necessarily awakening, but like redirection and expansion with thought, with spiritual insight. So lots of things going on in this energy center for you. Lots of growth. And to end off this reading for our crown chakra, we had the Hermit. The crown chakra represents kind of this color blue, right? And it is at the top of the head. It is the 7th chakra, the last energy center. And so the Hermit represents a energy that withdraws in order to gain insight and direction and wisdom. As you can see in this picture, he's holding a lantern with a light, a star. It's kind of like a guiding light. He has his wand in one hand. And his head is kind of tilted down a little bit, like he's trying to see clearly as he moves forward so that he doesn't stumble. And so it's almost like he's moving in darkness, possibly. So there's the need, there's the seeking happening there. But during that seeking, I feel like this energy is really good energy because it's very balanced. In the crown chakra, not only is it balanced, it's very creative. I feel creative energy. And where there are, so first of all, it's the blue color, and this represents our connection. This represents like our connection. It's the other end of the soul energy. But it's our connection to everything that is, including our source. First and foremost, our source. And in connecting with our source, it's the connection with everything that is created and the realization of that. And it feels a little creative in that this is a very crafty energy that I'm feeling, where there are challenges that would come up, or there is a level of waiting for the right information or direction to come in. There's the ability to navigate graciously, right? Even while you're trying to figure it out. And being able to kind of make your way through difficulties that would arise. I feel like this is a very experienced energy that's coming out of your crown chakra. The oracle card is smoke and mirrors. Interesting. Because smoking mirrors talks about seeing through the BS. Any BS that could be trying to fog your vision. This could even be past conditioning that lies within you. It's being able to see clear through those old perceptions that possibly kept you stuck at one time. And kept you in a place where you weren't able to actually see the truth of things around you as they were. Or hearing things, muffled sounds that didn't give clear direction. And so this could be a time where your perceptions are being challenged, and there is a need to really be guided, number one. So that means you need to stay connected and be able to navigate your way through traps and through tricks and through illusions, things that are set up to misguide you. Which is plenty, especially when you begin to see, right? Because you see everything. You don't just see things that were meant for you to see. You see everything. And so there's a need to really become skilled in navigating in life and staying on track. And so you have to become kind of crafty. That's the energy I'm getting. And part of that is even understanding your own misconceptions or your own illusions. Not everything is going to come from outside of you that will trip you up. Some of it will come from within. And it's having the ability, or developing the ability, to know the difference between your intuition and an illusion, between your intuition and fear that's trying to guide you away from something, And so smoking mirrors is bringing that crafty energy of being able to navigate in a very tricky world. It is what it is, right? In the perfect world, right? We would say Oh, you just live your life and you just be a good person and everything will be all right. But in the real world, we have to be crafty. It says to be as wise as serpents, but harmless as doves, right? That's this energy. Okay, the crown chakra is your perception of the world around you and how you're connected to it. And the fact that we came into this world under the perception, under a false perception, and it's realizing the need to have an awakening. It's necessary. And seeing things in a whole different light when we become awakened. You know, we're taught that we only have 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. But in reality, there's so much more. So much more. We're taught that time is linear, but in reality, time is just an illusion. It's just an illusion. Time, we have created this concept, an illusion of time based on the sun coming up and then going down while the moon circles up and down, right? And so based on those two things, we came up with this perception or this illusion of time. But what was it called before we called it time? The sun has been coming up and going down ever since the earth has been here. Before we named it time, the sun and the moon were there in action. So time is really just this concept that we have created to control, basically. But it's understanding that, okay? It's understanding that we were built to view the world a certain way. And so, and that way many times creates this level of separation and finality when there isn't really a finality. Energy never ends, it never dies, it just kind of transforms, or it transcends. I don't know how I want to say that. Energy just transforms, it doesn't die. And so there's so many different little things that wake us up to the reality of what things really are, which is very different than what we've been taught. And so that's what this is about. When we talk about smoking mirrors, it's about taking the red pill so you can really be open to receive the truth of what things are. There's this sense deep down that we know that there's more. Sometimes it's very comfortable to take the blue pill and just say, I don't want to know more. Because again, once you put on them magic glasses, you can't take them off. And so for those that don't want to really see the truth, they choose to keep the glasses off. They don't want to put them on. They don't want to take the red pill. They rather take the blue pill and go back to sleep and eat their juicy steak and drink their wine, right? Even though it really doesn't exist, that's the level of comfort they have chosen to stay unconsciously living in. But for those that choose to see things in a different light and to be open to truth, if there is the revelation, right? There's the need to understand that there is smoking mirrors. And this is the energy that I'm feeling this very crafty energy in the crown chakra. There is an awakening that's happening with you where you're seeing things really differently. Your crown chakra is very active and seeking, and it is starting to manage truth versus error. And so there is this level of, I feel like there's this level of, how do I want to say it? There's this level of you developing a way of dealing with this sorting of information is what I want to say. Classification. There's like this classification that's happening. And this time, Spirit could be asking you to be very aware of your ability at any moment in time to really drop down into your heart space and sense a vision, sense the reality of what it is. Because part of our existence has a lot to do with what we create it to be. And so Spirit wants you to know that at any moment in time, if things feel overwhelming or just totally out of whack, you have the ability to stop and drop down into your heart space, to come back to the reality of yourself and call for a vision from within. Call for a vision, a feeling and awareness that is true, that is authentic within you, right? And every day you're being called to really just remind yourself that you are intrinsically connected to everything. And you have this innate ability to sense and know that connection. And anything that's not real, like, you have the ability to sense and know that as well. I think that's the biggest part that's hard for people to understand, is that you have the ability to create your circumstances, and you do without even realizing it. Much of what we create is unconscious. That's how powerful our minds are. Like, we don't even realize we're creating, and we're still creating unconsciously. Now, just imagine if you were able to consciously understand your power and attune that energy directly, right? Imagine. And so Spirit wants you to really understand this energy that lies within you. And so all of these different areas of our energy system within the chakras, that's what we call them, the chakras, that are housed by these nadis. The nadis are energy pathways and meridians that allow energy to flow in and out through our systems. And they also connect to these very powerful areas of energy, right? And that's what we're calling the chakras, these very powerful areas of energy where these particular parts of our being are housed. And so Spirit wants you to know today, like what's going on in each of these areas of your body so that you can be aware. For those who tapped into this energy and it's resonating, right? If it didn't resonate, maybe click on my calendar. We can hook up. We can get a personal reading going for you. But if it resonated, then this was for you. This was for you. And it was beautiful. I love the energy that came out here. Spirit wants you to know what's happening on the inside of you and how it relates to everything around you. And how knowing is helpful for you, because then you could kind of channel your focus in ways that will assist you on this journey, right? It's just as simple as that. It's not rocket science. And there are a couple of other things that I want to point out. So I'm going to point to a few of these chakras. So I'm going to look at our first chakra, our fourth chakra, and our seventh chakra. And that is going to give us how whoever this reading was tapping in for, how you can balance in your journey to enlightenment. Okay. And so our first chakra was the Hierophant with the royal U. This was understanding your foundations and how that plays a part even today in you staying grounded and you understanding your power and your sovereignty and what it is that you have to offer and your worthiness and your need to stand in that, especially when it's challenged. Not to be shaken, but stand in it even deeper, even harder. Let it be known that you are unshakable, right? And so this was your first chakra. This is where the karmic journey arrives. This is where life finds force, where your life finds force in the universe. It's through your spiritual strength, your spiritual foundations, you understanding who you are, your autonomy, your power, and your ability and to assert that in the world, in the universe. It's through your spiritual backing. It's through your spiritual backing. This is where your power is. This is where your karmic journey began. And this is what you need to feel safe and to set off on your path, is to do these things. Okay. With our fourth chakra, we had the sun along with a higher view. And this is the need to bring the karmic journey start and finish into harmonic resonance. And so when we talk about finding happiness and contentment with the sun, and then our need to pull back to see the smorgasbord that was laid out before us, not just the thing that we're waiting on that we believe is going to make us ultimately happy, but the many things that are available all around us that has that same potential. But it's a matter of seeing the whole picture, a higher view. And with this is bringing in both the start and the finish into harmonic resonance. And so we know what the start is. Our start was the spiritual battles, the spiritual beginnings that has grounded and stabilized us, and knowing who we are, asserting that, standing in that, proclaiming that, knowing that, not accepting anything less, bringing that beginning into harmonic resonance with the ending, which was 7, our crown chakra, the hermit, which is pulling away for introspection, to be clear on what it is that's real and what's not. This awakening. And so in our heart space, the happiness that we're looking for, that higher perspective, will be gained. It'll come into harmonic resonance through the spiritual backing, the spiritual foundation that gives us the highest indication of who we are, and that groundedness in who we are and what makes us feel safe, our security, along with our how we're viewing the world, and knowing what's true and what's not. Finding force in the universe. This is where we arrive, where life finds its force. This is where life began. This is the beginning, spiritual. The end is also spiritual, but it's also more clarity on what that spirituality is. It's moving all of the smoking mirrors out of the way so that we finally see things clearly. We're not being told what to believe, but we know that we know that we know without a shadow of a doubt, because now we see through everything. The only thing that's left is our truth. And it's coming into harmonic resonance between these two. That's going to bring us what it is that we've been waiting for, that level of happiness and stability, that higher view, and access to that smorgasbord that was created just for us. Okay? Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to end it there. So if this resonated, beautiful. If it didn't, hit me up on my calendar. We can set an appointment and tap into your energy specifically and see where your chakras are resonating and aligning. Okay, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you allowing me to even speak into your life. You know I don't take it lightly. So until next time, thank you for calling, or thank you for stopping by. Until next time, thank you for stopping by. It has been LettiSpeaks, and until next time, keep those chakras aligned. All right, bye.